Welcome to you all. Just a quick introduction. Mick Poultney from the Black Country in the West Midlands, UK. I grow veg, fruit and flowers, gave up my allotments and now I have the back garden. It's easier. Less stress and no intruders. Same as when I was on my allotment. I don't dig and I mostly raise beds. Do a lot of trials as I'm still want to learn quite a few. On my Zooms are also trialing and passing on their knowledge on the Zooms. One trial still ongoing was to see if there was any decent peat-free compost about, and so far we're still looking. So no good on that one so far. 4 speakers tonight with imported photos to talk about. Just a quick intro. If you have half a plot or just a back garden, what you use. Need about 6 for next Zoom session as well, with about 15 photos. I'm always busy, I don't stop. Our local show is on the 1st of September, and that's what I grow for and look forward to. I'm still chairman of Collier Gardening Club, talk all over the UK on several different subjects. You will see what I'm into anyway as we go along. Right, if I can ask you all to mute yourselves, then there'll be less interference on the Zoom. Obviously, if you're giving it input, you've got to come on the unmute yourself. Right, let's get going. First photo, John, that could have been you when you moved out. You'd still have a shed and allotment, wouldn't you? Because your allotment.
On my balcony.
Love it. Right, this is last week. Taking the hound for a walk. Elderberries are ready, meaning any winemakers out there like myself, there's loads where I take Russian. Bougainvillea. This was from Lidl this year, and I bought him because you can just make out the stem. It's got one main stem, so I'm going to turn him into a standard. That's what I had last year. But that because we had a good frost last winter, if you remember, I lost not quite a bit of stuff, but Bougainvillea, I lost him as well. And that was in the greenhouse. So we don't know more -7s. This is my peach tree outside, obviously, top of the garden, by the side of my tunnel. This one is a bonanza, meaning it is late fruiting. All my fruit varieties are picked for late fruiting, i.e. when our show is on stuff to pick from the first Saturday in September. So this chap I'm going to prune and sort him out. And just to seal the ends so no disease anything gets in. Sealing nail, which I have from Wilco, which I use on all my fruit trees. And you see me lemon next to him. Just make out the lemons there. He's done well as well. They get enough sun. Well, it's worked this year. I've got no fruit on. Well, I did have fruit on the peach, but I got none for the show because 10 days before the show we had high winds and rain, and it knocked all the peaches off. So I've got to be aware of that for next year. Once I do prune the chap, I just seal it, get a little paintbrush, and just seal the cut. There it is, all done. I've also got one in the peach in the tunnel, so that one is outside here, alongside me gladioli cormlets. So he's in the tunnel. And as you can see, this is Red Haven. We move on to the next one. Right, he was also sent out as a standard. What I've done is I've kept the middle, as you can see there, the standard went up the top. That's how I had him. And then there's 2 whips come up from the bottom. So I thought what I'm going to do is going to train them 2 up either side and just grow it like a fork. So I've got the 3 legs coming up. and trim that lot at the top. So that's what I'm aiming for here. So see it a bit better there. That's the original one, main stem, and them are the two which I've come off. So that's another trial and error. This is from my mate Rog from Dimmock. Good aubergines, and he blames my compost again because he uses my compost methods, and he just tells me off, saying it's good basically. Right, Rolly sent me some questions by email. How do I slow down the ripening of giant tomatoes when adding liquid horse poo to your wormery? Diluted is it? And opinions on using Mako liquid to irrigate the stallion juice instead of plain spring water. The two big boys. Anybody on here yet who grows giant tomatoes? The two lads from Wednesbury. If nobody comes back, I will come in at the end again. I can get in touch with them for next week. As far as the liquid horse poo on your wormery, all the anything manures I do for it's always 10-to-1 ratio, and I think it's 10-to-1 for the nettle brew and comfrey brew. Where our mate does up Wednesbury, but that'll be jobbed as well. Mako liquid, never heard of that one, Rolly. Is that hydroponic shop one?
I'll get there in a minute. That's the alpaca poo, the same as the horse way of doing it. You know, bath full of it and pour the water through it.
Oh,
Macho is the male alpaca. You know, I call the other one stallion juice, don't I?
yeah.
So the other one, the alpaca poo, is macho juice. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of plain spring water. Well, it's going to have goodies in it. One of going to be nitrogen.
It's got the higher potash. Am I on again? No? Yeah. It's got the higher potash, Mick. That's why I was thinking of combining the two to try and raise the potash in the horse. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is for the late feed then.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I will say it's been absolutely brilliant on tomatoes and cucumbers.
Yeah. Good. Keep trialing.
Yeah. Alpaca 1.2. Oh, it's the comfrey. It's 5.3, not the alpaca.
Oh.
Horse is 0.6, where alpaca's 1.2 on the whatever. So it's double the potash. That was why, you know, my logic of adding the two together.
Yeah. We'll bring that up at the end again, slowing down the giant toms. Somebody might come in halfway through, whatever. Okay, Rowley.
Yeah, cheers, Mick. I just thought, you know,
yeah,
try to get a sort of a question and answer thing going, like, you know.
Yeah. If anybody has got any questions, like for next week or next Zoom, just email me. Then when I send the link out, I'll put them on there so I'm all primed. And then when you come in, Sid, listen, the groom getting his best man ready for the wedding. One of the best wedding photos ever. Look at his little face. Love him. Right, this is from the last Zoom, which was on, if you remember, I sent for this canner, and he weren't very good. They look very well. And I chopped him off, as you can see there. We had new shoots on the bottom. What I was going to do was slice through him, get rid of that crap, just slice them. This has been imported, which I don't like. It's supposed to be a good supplier. But you can see, well, I chopped him off and just sealed him again. We'll have to seal and heal. Take him out of the pot. As you can tell, I'm using my own compost. It's full of worms, or I took the worms out before. I'm still going to get the worms because of the eggs that are in there. They're going to hatch out. So he's got a good brew under him. We know that. So I've took the mulch off the top. That was the hamster muck and straw. When I took that off, then I could see the pus that was around the base of that. So he is gone completely. So I still got me a standing knife just to slice him down there. Put him on newspaper in case I got to bin the lot. I don't want any disease anywhere. Sliced him down and he's got into it, the whole of the rhizome, completely knackered. So that was another way to do a tenner. Turn it tropical. Supposedly, I think I'm down south. There's about 3 down south. But if they import like this, somebody said them all right, so I thought I'd give them a go. But that's the one to look for. Netherlands, Holland. All the stuff coming from Holland have got a virus. And nurseries this year, first time I started selling canners, and our own local nursery, we started flogging them. And that's when I bought 2. This is earlier on in the year. And I showed him making proper canner man from Canada. And he says, don't get anything from Netherlands, nothing imported. They've all got the virus. Even Kew Gardens get supplied with virus plants. And all they do is renew the plants whole every year. It's a rip-off. Anyway, back to these lot. So I sent him a reply. Right, let's get a bit close to that one. That's how I had the 2 plants off them. Now, looking at him now, that's leaf obviously was chopped off. I'm sure I've already chopped it off. But the disease is already going up that stem and it's starting into that leaf there. This was 6 days after, and that's what it turned to. It was crap. So I just chopped him off. That's where I sealed him. You know, I've been in touch with him and still no reply. If you don't reply, you'll get a, well, you're going to get the crap anyway off me. This is Thursday before our show, which was week yesterday. Thursday, we've got to put a marquee up. If we just pick the Friday and it piddles down all day, we're in the quagmire. So people are free. It's less hassle and work. So that's the entrance to Cradley Town Football Club. Just leg it up there. I open up early morning. This is one of our old trading sheds from the plot. We took it up the front and we've only got to carry the stuff over to there. So there's all the framework set up. So that's ready to go in. So you got all the trestles this side, tabletops, everything ready to go. Next one. We've got a few more volunteers this year, which is makes all the difference. Less stress, easier to pull up. It's a good size frame, and you need 5 people on either side to pick it up properly. But we had a good turnout, and the weather was kind to us. Perfect. But it's Boston size. We have got 2 of these. We did buy 2, but it's getting the people to put 2 up. We'd never do it. Well, we would do it, but we'd be there all day. So, but it works. And so the grass were dry. And Amy, bless her socks, I bought some coffee, tea, squash, and biscuits. There's a good one. There's me carrying the small marquee over. And this is what we use for the frail people for staging. We got away with it last year because we had decent weather. Because they could stage outside and there's no wind and no rain. They could do it. But no, look. it had pedal down Saturday morning with them staging, so we used this marquee as well, just for that. So there's the main marquee, and there's one for the staging, the little chap. Still not really a big area for staging, but it's better than now. In fact, next committee meeting, we'll try and get a bigger one for next year. Setting up, with them up, we now move the trestles and the tables over. Four rows in, obviously them go straight up against the side. These go down to the end. These two, we have a gap at the end. So last year we could walk down, but you got to come back on yourself. So now you can turn around that way or get out on the road. And learn something every year. That was either Amy or Joe suggested that. If one tabletop's a bit low than the other, I've been collecting beer mats for a while, and perfect. Just put some beer mats level as a ferry. Perfect. So you got all these nice and level. People can get through the sides. Excellent. If we did put two marquees up, it'd just be 3 rows of 3. So that's Thursday over. There's Scott closing up for the night. While I'm on that one, if you look closely, there's 2 canners there. I donated, well, I had these 2 as well. This was earlier on in the year as well. First 2 I had, it's supposed to be off a reputable firm of a couple of ladies in, I think I'm in France somewhere. Anyway, I had their canners, and I sent a photo to my mate in Quebec, and he says they've got the virus. So I've got rid of them. I was going to bid, well, the first one I've been that got the virus. I thought, well, it's a waste of money. And he was after plants, the gapper. So I thought, if I put him out there, it ain't going to knack at him, do any effect to him if they got the virus or not. So that's why I did a bunk out there. And, there was 3 had the virus as well. Paul had them off me. I says, don't get them near to your own plants. As you know, we got a close up of there, you can see it's in the plant itself. And this is what the plants look down Kew Gardens and most of the places down London as well. All the people are looking for is the top bit and the flower. You just go in, well, just throwing the flower there. That's what you got to be careful. And there's the other chap. He's into the leaf already. That's Scott closing up. So Thursday afternoon, we finish about 4 or something. So I've got a bit of time. I had 3 tubs of these. Bottoms were cut out there. They was in little raised beds underneath. And these are the sweet candle. First one I pulled out. Not too bad at all. That'll do me. I only need 3 carats for my collection. Another one is a bit shorter. Ain't bothered. All I want is 3. Could I get another one? No. So next year, that was I've tried that with the kids when I did the gardening club at Caswan Primary School, and it worked with them every year in their forest buckets. Would it work for me? No. The other veg I need is peas. So when you pick them, you don't touch the peas yourself because you'll molt, take the bloom off them. You put them on fresh nettles, keeps them nice. So that's what I did. Right, our first inputter tonight is John from Taunton. He's a good lad. All yours, John. If you unmute yourself, sir, and you can get going.
Can you hear me, Mick?
Yeah. Good man.
Right, evening all. These are some of the experiments I was doing for Mick's show. So I had a little practice run with my tomatoes. I've done a few different types of tomatoes this year. I've done beefsteak, sun gold, Shirley, Gardener's Delight, and Moneymaker, and Black Russian. So I put as many out as I could. That's the first. Let me beefsteaks there. But the competition was a bit strong, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah. You'll know for next year, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It's my first show, so I was pleased to have a go and just put it out there. And I think I give away a lot of my best tomatoes before the show because I was a bit worried whether they'd last or not. But you learn from your experience.
Yeah.
These chilies here are me. These were habaneros. I kept the plant on vegetation for 2 years, and then when they fruited, they didn't turn out to be the chilies that I wanted. They was habaneros instead of Trinidad scorpions. So it pays to grow what you know before you grow it, because I spent 2 years growing them. And next slide, Mick.
Yeah.
These are some of me peaches from the tree that I had in my greenhouse on the allotment. I've moved that tree to me garden now, but they're the sweetest, juiciest peaches. They're such a treat. They're fantastic.
Brilliant. Then that's what I'm after next year.
These are some of the fruits. I think could I freeze them and then defrost them before a show, improve in next year's show, Mick? Because some fruits are ready at different times of the year.
No, they're good as slop.
They just go, they lose their shape, do they?
Yeah. Anything like that, if it comes early, late, or whatever, is what I'm doing tomorrow. Because I'm not chill, but obviously I'm still busy. But the stuff I'm going to do tomorrow is my jam, ready for next year. So my blueberry, elderberry, I've got to pick them, and plum, whatever I got left. I'm still utilising the fruit I've got, but I can't make jam out of it. Although I can't exhibit it. Like there's some early stuff, like my gooseberries. There ain't a gooseberry out yet, which is late fruiting. So when my gooseberries do fruit, I just make jam and out of them, or something like that.
That's partly what I do with these. I've made some of your wine. I put some of these Josh Breeze in with the banana and parsnip wine that I won 3rd prize for this year.
Yeah.
So that was a result from them, but the jam from them is lovely.
That's it.
It's not too sweet. It's nice and it's just a different flavour from blackberry and strawberry can be a little bit too sweet, but this jam seems to be a little bit more tart. These are me boysenberries. They got 4 different fruits hybridized into them. That's a lovely berry, that one. Boysenberry. Ever come across that one, Mick?
No, when do these fruit?
That one fruits in about June.
Oh.
So these are an early one.
Yeah. But he's a good taster.
He's a lovely taster. Because he got those 4 berries hybridized into it, it's just loads of flavour in it. I suppose it's not commercial because it's you got to pick them right, otherwise they go too soft.
Yeah,
they're not an easy picker. And I sort of like got to give it a good pruning this year to get it back into easy picking.
Yeah.
But you've got a bit bushy, so it needs good pruning out that lane. But I've got 5 or 6 lanes all in rows where I've got a fruit line down each one, where I've got to sort of take out every other line this year so that I can make each other line better. Yeah. These are the Cadbury's. They're a nice one. Again, they're a soft picker, so they're difficult to crop, but lovely flavour.
How many people grow them? Cadbury?
one line that I want to get going again next year is a loganberry, which is a cross between the tayberry and another berry. But the loganberry is a nice, long, beautiful berry. So I grew this plant for 5 years. It takes 5 years before it starts to fruit. And I grew a hedge, a big 9-foot tall hedge, about 10 feet long. And I have had a handful of berries off it since I've had it. And it's the 7th year this year, so I've cropped them right down now. So some berries work and some berries don't. But that was meant to be me goji berry. But I took a picture of another goji berry just to show you what I was hoping for, but didn't get.
I tried this up with the kids up the school. I think the plant was we'd had it 7 years, nothing, and we get up on it.
Yeah,
I took it out and put another fruit in.
I think the canes would be good for making baskets or something like that because you get nice canes from it.
Yeah,
or even just supporting other things. So
that's not good though if you don't get the fruit, is it?
No, you want to be successful at what you do, don't you?
Yeah. There's so much else what you'd never see on our allotment. Well, people are only gonna have one go.
Mick, apparently there's pictures of people that have said they're trying to get in and you're not letting them in. Jeffrey and someone else.
I know. I keep getting emails. I can't get in. How am I not letting them in?
Yeah, because I went straight in.
Well,
I went straight in.
Everybody
I'll
should
give
go
them.
straight
I'll give
in.
them the link. I'll give them the link and get them to do it again.
Yeah, they've all had the link in the road up.
Yeah, this is
Sorry, Paul, you got a question, mate?
Just a quick answer back to the. I struggled to get in, Mick, but I had to copy and paste it, and then in the end, I got straight in.
Oh, good man. Okay, John, mate.
Yeah, in Taunton where I live, we've got a company called Growth Technology, and a friend of mine works there, and he's put me on to different products over the years, and this is the product that I use for rooting all my chili clones. And I've sent up the blocks for you in the past, Mick, haven't I? And using the rock wool and these little soil blocks.
Yeah.
But this rooting gel here, Clonex, it seems to be used. It seems to be used all over the world, but it's fantastic stuff for rooting cuttings. So that company just happens to be in Taunton. So
and you've got a mate there, brilliant.
Yeah.
Perks.
So I this is I grew a giant pumpkin on one of me plots, and it took up 2/3 of me plot and about 30 bags of horse manure. But this is the pumpkin I got from there. It was as big as the missus. Well, you can see her sat behind it, can't you?
Yeah. You should have said it was standing up.
Yeah, it had a bit of a belly out of the back, so it looks a lot bigger from the image than it actually was, because when it laid down, obviously it's a bit flat in the gut.
Yeah.
But it looked big in this picture. But I could have won a show. I could have won a ticket with that one, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to the show and get it out by myself.
Yeah, that's the trouble with the big stuff, lifting them.
Yeah.
And
it's a big job to get involved with the big stuff, because they need to drink morning and evening, and it takes a lot of looking after. But an experience nevertheless. Sorry, Mick.
Yeah, it's something different in it.
It is.
I had a fad with a heavy leek. Well, I had a Swede carrot, but it's only lasted 3 years.
Yeah, the people that grow the veg like leeks, carrots, parsnips.
Yeah.
I mean, the efforts that they go through to grow their stuff is phenomenal. Filling up barrels just to grow a few parsnips.
Yeah. Oh, I've done it. That's when I did, well, it was everything. When I did all my veg. And, well, the missus was at work then, so I could get away with it, because I was down there all day, every day. And then was retired, I couldn't get away with it. But things changed over there. And you have different fads on different things.
Yeah. I've been trying to make my life easier over the last few years by trying to invent things that are sold in the hydroponic shops that you can make for free. So these little bubble boxes, I fill them with water and then they spray the bottoms of the roots. But they, when you ask me to give you some photos of what I've been doing this year, is I've been trying to make this better. But obviously the cups I'm using, I need basket cups and I need to improve it. But
yeah,
for salad crops and lettuces and chard and stuff like that, they're fantastic. And you know, they're little solar pumps. Every time the sun comes out, off they pop and they just start sprinkling away. And it saves you a lot of plants.
like it.
But they're brilliant for the salad crops.
Yeah.
So I recommend, you know, something like that. It does, you know, when you manage the water, it does have a great effect. Those salad crops are fast feeders, so they like constant misting. So if you're misting the roots constantly when the sun's out, then they're having a great time.
Brilliant. There's a few use that, you know, on here. Trialing different, which is what we've got to do. Hydroponics and whatever.
This is what I did to get more height in my greenhouse. So I actually dug it out a meter.
Yeah.
So just showing that photograph, because obviously you can see up on the wrist there, that's what the height was, and the depth of the spade is the height I dug out. But definitely worth going. If you ain't willing to go up, then it's good to go down. Yeah, I've had a lot better crops in there. My peach tree's been in that room and done great because I've done that. So I know a little tip for the audience, whether they want to do that or not, is digging out is worthwhile. Then I put Celotex on the floor, then some grit, and then a block paviour at the top of it, so it was a warm floor.
Yeah.
So it never gets cold in there, apart from when it does really get cold everywhere.
Yeah. Nice. Your peach tree, was it indoors?
The peach tree was where I'm stood there now. That's where I had it. But now it's in the back garden, and I repotted it, and it's doing fantastic at the moment. But I'd like to get it back in the warmth for next spring.
Yeah.
But I've just got to move a few greenhouses about and try and make a pavilion out of the 5 of them, and then I'll be good to go then.
Good.
This is a system that I bought last year, but I didn't get to use it because I wasn't set up in time. But the auto pots, we've seen these on Money Boot Show, and
yeah,
these seem to be, you know, the future of gardening, when you can just set and forget, and fill up a IBC and then leave your plants to get watered all week long, so you ain't got to spend so many times visiting the allotment or the garden. So I've got a set of these that I'm going to set up next year, and see how it goes. But I do like the auto pot system.
Yeah.
My mate's done this in his boss's polytunnel, because he works for the company that I get my nutrients off. So I just nicked this photo from going to visit him. But yeah, I intend to set up the auto pot, so I've got them all ready to go. See how they do for next year.
Yeah. When I was on the allotment, I had a structure similar to this, but it was just tunnel polythene put over a square wooden structure, so the top was sloping, so the rain would come off. But I had these in 2 raised beds, and for my chilies, and my sweet peppers, and they was perfect for them. They loved them.
Yeah.
Really looks after them. And water themselves.
There's the finest hour of 2023.
He's a good lad.
Of all the things I thought I'd win on, that was the one I just took up just in case, just to add a bit more flavour to the pot. I never expected anything from them, and to get a first prize from me chilies that were still green,
Yeah,
I was flabbergasted.
brilliant.
But that made me day, that made me yearly, Mick. That's I put a lot of work into chilies in the last 4 or 5 years, and I've had lights growing them all over Christmas and costing me a fortune in electric.
Yeah.
But to get that little ticket was, it's just a little pat on the back,
Oh,
and it makes you feel good winning a prize.
yeah.
Them I thought those Longhorn chilies were a lot better chili than what I was put on the table, and I was quite impressed by them. So it's always good to win in an environment where it's not too easy.
Well, just say just a minute then.
Yeah.
Well,
That was my Longhorn chilies.
any minute now, Benny's nearly finished. What was that, Paul?
Oh, it's Andy. That was my Longhorn.
Oh, Andy,
chilies.
what
What it was, but I think what loosed them down is that they clean them. And there was some slightly black marks off the compost, and that's why they come nowhere. But they did look great, actually. I expected some, but I still got the longest chili, which I was pleased about anyway. So,
right, there's people trying to. I'm just going to butt in here. There's people trying to get on, and they can't get on because they ain't got the link. So our Ben's come up. We're just going to have a. Don't get going nowhere. I'm still talking on. Right, that's all we've got on. There's quite a few for some reason. Can't get on. Paul, you said you had trouble getting on tonight, are you?
Jeffrey said he's going to give up because he was getting really annoyed. Just so you know.
Mick, what I had to do off your email,
Yeah,
you got an identification number and a login number or something. I had to, as soon as I copied and pasted them and put them into the Zoom link, it come on. Trying other methods, I couldn't get on, so I just put in what you'd sent, and it was the last. I can't remember what the number is, but it was the last 2 bits underneath the link, and that got me on there.
That's what I had to do as well, Mick.
and me, I had to copy
Open the
and paste.
Zoom app and then copy and paste the 2 numbers in to the relevant box.
We'll get this sorted for next week anyway. What's that crap?
Right, where's the email? What they got? Is it on here?
There, that one. Bear with us.
For tomorrow. Where's the passcode?
Anybody had any rain today?
Oh, I am down here in Somerset.
Yeah.
Oh, it come down like bucketfuls.
Yeah, well, about
half a dozen flies flew over here. That's all we got.
off your alpaca.
Yeah.
Right, I've got that email now, so it should be okay. Participants.
Leave it, we'll have to sort it for next week. Right, John, we're back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's my finest hour at the Collegiate gardening show last Saturday with you, mate.
Yeah, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, it
I
was
want
good
to
to be.
see you next year and all.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bring the missus next year, so I can guarantee staying overnight.
Good man.
I'll book into a B&B locally and make sure I have a good drink with you.
Good lad.
There's me wine. Thanks to you, Mick. If I didn't have a bottle to replace it, I wouldn't have got third place for that. That was a bit of luck. Good man was always prepared, and you got everything in your van. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Oh,
A bottle and a cork.
took him a spare bottle down a cork and a label.
Fantastic.
Obviously, that one was mine.
You done well on the.
Your
you done
ticket,
well
your
on
mate's got them. So I kept
You
them.
done well. You done well on the wine, Mick.
Yeah, it goes well on the auction. That's what brings the money in.
Brilliant. Did you do well on the auction?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Under 600 quid, I think.
Well, these the apples. I brought 3 different types from the allotment. The first light green ones at the bottom there, they're golden delicious, so they hadn't actually gone yellow. So I left them behind, and I only when I read the what you sent me, I needed 5 apples, so I only had 5 of the red ones because I'd only brought so many of each of the other ones. But the middle ones are similar to the ones that won it.
Yeah.
But I left them behind. But the apples coming in 3rd place, so I was very pleased with that.
Yeah, you're doing well, huh?
Like you said, if they'd all been the same size, I would have had a better chance.
Yeah.
But at least I know now for next time I'm going to have to get the right size, set.
Yeah. Oh, that door's still open, isn't it, Penny?
Hey?
Yeah, the door's still open. Better shut it. All the bugs come in. There's bugs everywhere otherwise.
Suzanne, can you mute, please?
Oh.
Yeah, this is me giant cake. You'd already got fruit from yours, Mick, but mine's just starting to come now. But he's got a lot of colour back in it now, and he's massive there. The pictures don't really show it that well, but that's me giant cake.
Gooseberry, I love them. I'm easy,
yeah. They are. They're quite good looking to look at as well. They're quite an attractive plant, I find. They look quite tropical, and the big heart shaped leaves. They're nice. It's quite a good looking plant. I've had so many different results from it because I've put them in water pots and had some fantastic results. I've had them in the greenhouse and I've had them outside the greenhouse. They don't really like being outside the greenhouse. They do like the warmth.
Yeah.
But I've got a row of them down the allotment that are sort of like semi inside, and they're doing okay. But I would like a nice warm house for me Cape gooseberries because I will continue to grow them because they're a lovely.
I do love them. That one you gave me last year, that was outside in a raised bed, but he got protection on the sides and the back. The roof still on there. Now the roof was off. So he had got a bit of protection and he went haywire. And then when I found them giant Cape gooseberry seeds on eBay, and I put him in the end of the tunnel and he's gone loop in there. But they are easy. Obviously, you got to tie them up with the weight of them. So inside. But the fruits are beautiful.
Yeah.
So I wonder more people don't grow them because they're easy.
Apparently, they're the only fruit that contain growth hormones. So they actually heal you as well as give you a nice bit of flavour. They're a super fruit.
They are, yeah.
They've got things in them that other fruits ain't got. They're the Duracell of the fruit world.
Yeah, them nice. because we had our bring a buy in May for our gardening club. And somebody bought them. I think they bought in 6 small plants for the Cape gooseberry, and the 3 have come back. It says beautiful plants, and they love the fruit. First time they'd never tried it.
Yeah.
And they went cheap, so they had them.
I mixed some with some Scotch bonnets to make some jam either last year or the year before, and it was like toffee apple. It was real tasty. And the Scotch bonnet didn't burn; it just intensified the flavour.
Yeah.
That's not one of my pictures.
No, that's mine. That's telling me that you're finished. John, you're
okay, thanks, mate. Thanks, everyone.
You're a star for that input.
Thank you, mate. Good to
Right,
see you.
did you know bananas are not trees? There's no wood in them. They're giant herbs. A banana is actually, it's berry. Learn something all the time. Oh, it must be my input. Right, things I've learned over the years, or in fact, this was what I've learned early last year. Collecting leaf mold, because I do my own compost and I make my own leaf mold. This is how I used to do my leaf mold. Collecting the leaves up. This was in a churchyard, so there's nice and clean. Put them in the back of the wagon and then take them on and then shred them. But now we've got a grandchild and I'm taking her for a walk every morning. I'm collecting what our mate upstairs is looking after me, the leaf mold, i.e. the stuff that I was collecting before this lot has broken down into this lot. And all I'm doing is scraping it up with my boot and then picking it up. I'm picking all the lumps out, putting them in. So my leaf mold is ready to use, and that's it. I get it back, taking it twigs out, I'll rub it out by hand, meaning it breaks up even more. And then I just keep it in a bag, moist-ish. And you will still get worms in it. And it is, I can use that straight away as a mulch, an ingredient for the compost. That's what I do use it for. But that's something I learned now. So there's no me going out again collecting the large leaves at autumn. I'll just get I'm still collecting these now. With the horns on them. Right, roses. These today are 3 exactly the same size. I could have renewed this photo, but now I couldn't. I ain't got time. Meaning, if I'd have got these last week, I could have entered them in our show. But I didn't. I hadn't. But I will next year, because he'll be pruned and he'll give me some roses next year. This is a raised bed, top of the garden. Don't forget, I've got a scented rose on each corner. And they're bosters. So that's something else new for me next year. I can enter the rose class. Something I did this year, which I'm glad I did do, was put my water irrigation down. These are my fruit trees inside the tunnel. And there's me Josterberry, Cape gooseberry. And you can just see one there. These are nice and ripe, ready to eat. And he has gone loop. So I've pruned him as well, because I got strawberry that side and then blackberry that side, trailing. But having this system in with a timer, perfect. So something else I'm glad I got this year. Right, back on the canners. Sylvain Outlet, comes from Quebec, obviously Canada. He's in the Canna Plant group, or all the Canna groups on Facebook. And he sells to everybody. And he's fighting all the nurseries exactly the same, which I'm not doing yet because I ain't got time, but he does, because they're dishing out crap as well with the virus. And to help people out with his stock, because he uses fields where there's nothing around him, anything that's got any virus, nothing, meaning they're clean, open pollinated, meaning they're crossing the cells like they're got a dwarf pink crossed with a pink dragon, always meaning you're going to get a new flower. And he knows these are virus-free seeds because he takes them himself. and he sent me through them in the post. And on one of my Zooms last year, I give people the opportunity to buy them. I don't know, it was 50p each, a quid each or whatever. But those worth doing. Near enough everyone took, and they've all flowered. And he's doing it again this year. That was a little chap that come up. I've got one. Like, there's the top of the garden. There's one in planted outside. He's staying in. He's got the protection of the fence. When the frost does chop them, like anything else, my house from areas, they just come back again. When they'll flower till the first frost. Exactly the same as these. When the first frost jogs the canners, I'll chop them off to about 4 inches. If they're in a pot, then put them in the greenhouse. If they're outside, I'll chop them off, soil level, and then mulch them, a good mulch. If it's just straw, anything like that, if you got, or wood chip, anything. But if they forecast a good frost again like we had last year, just put the double amount of mulch on. And up against the fence, anything like that, then you got the protection as well. So each corner of the garden, I'm leaving 4 out, and there's 1 in my raised bed. All the rest are in pots. When these get jobbed, they'll be put in the greenhouse. But a majority of these are from seed, and there's different colours. Beautiful, love them.
Mick, sorry
Yes.
to interrupt. I got a message from Jeffrey. He says the code that he's getting, the error code, means that there's no access from Belgium. So that means he won't be able to get in at all.
Okay, I'll sort that
All
for
right.
next week.
All right then, I'll tell him.
Cheers. But I love them. There's one which is just completely yellow, which is the original one, which I wanted off that other company, and it turned out crap. We never sent that one. This was another, well, it was a trial, I suppose. I had some seeds left over from when I started them off. It was March, April. I started them off in the end of the greenhouse. And there's 4 seeds, 3 seeds that I missed. And I saw them about a month and a half after. I thought, well, I ain't going to lose nothing. So this is the top of the garden, just in front of the raised bed. So I planted the seeds in here. I put a little label in. Of course, I forgot all about them. And then I was just looking, and I noticed one come through. He was shooting. I thought, Gordon Bennett, that's them seeds I put in. Meaning, these lot had had the cold, wind, rain, everything. And you thought about looking after them in the tunnel, and they've come outside. So they're very hardy as well. Obviously, if you want them earlier, then you've got to have them in the greenhouse. That's common sense. But I'm just saying they will come. That was 2 I did earlier. That one we just saw, that's one I've lifted there. So these 2 germinated first. He was still germinated. So the 3 of them, which I did put in, they've come again. And I've just potted them 3 up in my compost. I'll do anything, anytime, if I can do for anybody. And Ange made to come to the garden club. I asked him for some top dressing for her raised beds, her borders. I did have made some. They both come to our meetings, and I did a 2 large bags of mixed brew. This is dried goat muck, spent tops, leaves, leaf mold. It's just all mixed together, but it's a good brew. All natural products, meaning the plants are going to love it. So I did them for this is my new canner. He's a corker. I had one, I took a babby off him. Meaning I wanted one for the show, and I wanted to keep one for myself. Right, this is back home on a Friday afternoon, sorting my fruit out. Obviously I want to pick the fruit when it's fresh. But I thought it's easier just to cut the blackberries off on a stem, as you can see there. instead of just individual ones. It proves you've just picked them as well. Next year I'll take the green ones off, it goes to sept. But I've joined the RHS for 1 year and then come out. They're probably upset a few on here. They're posh gardeners. To me, they're not proper gardeners because the magazine I got, there's nothing telling me about how to grow anything or anything. It's just advertising bloody hats and anyway. What I'm getting at the RHS, if you're putting fruit in, and like nothing underneath, it's got to be a bare plate with just the fruit on. This to me enhances the dish, the plate where it is. I've got straw in the middle of my baskets. I need 2 lots. One for a competition with 3 flowers, then 1 flower, and 2 veg and a basket of fruit. And that is just for the basket of fruit collection. So I need 2 lots. So you see all the different fruits I've got now. That was the last of me red berries and me black currants, red berries, red currants. Yes, Suzanne.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to work out where the mute button was. How old are them grapes that are in there? How old is the vine?
Picked them day before.
No, but how old is the vine?
Olive wine this year.
What, it's the first year that you put it in?
First year this year.
Oh, wow. Because my ones are not, I've got loads of grapes on it, masses of grapes, but there's like holes in them. They're not all bundled up like that. And they're a lot smaller as well.
It was planted last year, but it's the first time it's fruited this year, if that makes sense.
So it's its second year.
Yes.
Because mine is its second year, and I've got nothing that good. So
in about I think it's about March, April when it started back up again into life. He was about a third away across the tunnel, and then when he got right to the end, I chopped him, and that's when all the energy went into the grapes that was on there.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Chop it. I'll just let it keep growing.
Yeah, second year.
Yeah. Okie doke.
So next year I'm gonna have a good one. Well.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. With I mean, it's good for me to get these 2 currants so late. These are the latest ones I could get, and they're in the tunnel. But next year, these hopefully, this is the first year with these as well. Giving me fruit this year. Well, all the fruit in the tunnel is the first year, but we'll have loads next year. Figs obviously not ripe, and I'm still going in, and I'm using a fig leaf with them. In fact, the leaf of everything what's going in. Put them in more fruit next year, so they're even better. And that was these 3 I've got up, and that was just in a week. This is how much these advanced because I'm in the greenhouse with the warmth as well. What we got to do is keep these watered and keep fed, and they will grow rapidly. So these are going to be 3 new ones as well. Right, British Gladiator Society. This is on Facebook, obviously, and they have an online show for people who get to the shows. And I put some stuff in, and I come third with class 12, 3 spikes, and that's the size of the Gladys, 450. And that was the ones I put in. Unknown, the mate give me a marker pen that faded around your eye. So everything I put out, the name, I thought I don't need to remember. Well, I can't remember it anyway. Memory's crap. And I put it online, and my mate told me Ajax, but they was Caucus. Beautiful. Chuffed the bits with them. These are the blackberry inside trailing. He's just started coming now, meaning next year I will look after him earlier and start feeding him earlier, so he will give me blackberries earlier, i.e. a week earlier for our show. This was during last week. Obviously, I don't like him on the chase, the beast. He's a bit of a mouthpiece. He starts laughing to himself when somebody gets a hard question. They should keep his trap shut. And he got beat, and that made my day. It was a pain in the arse. Lizzie, our third inputter. Lizzie from Cardiff. Are you with us, Lizzie? I hope there is.
I don't think she could get on either.
Let me go through it. This is her allotment. Not sure whether she got a back garden or not. I think it, not sure if it does it with hobby either. Just showing beans. Trying to get the leaf on them. Pears, that's something I should have for next year as well. Well, as a decent zoomer, he's been with us all along. Get him back in 2 weeks. Pre-spring waiter. Right, this is down. I had to go to Tesco during the week. Coming out, whatever I bought birdseed there because I lost my supplier. Paperback books. I always have a look and see if there's any darkens. And there's 2 of them, and I open them up. Now they're both dark looking at the size, but that one is darker than him. And if you smell him, he's telling you, compost me. So that's what I did. Or took them back for. Just put 50p in the tin and take the 2 books away. Oh, Suzanne, you're ready to go?
Yep. Right, I've been really busy the last few days. I don't know whether anyone's heard of Rainham Hall, but it's a National Trust building. It's only a small one, but it's in like the little village where I live. And they've approached the society that I volunteer for, and they wanted us to do a display of produce. So that's basically what I've been doing on the Thursday and Friday, was picking up all the veg and everything. And this was the result of it on the Saturday, on yesterday. And we was in it's called the Hayloft, and it's right up the top of the building, and it was scorching yesterday. There's no air, and we were sitting there for about 5 hours with just fans on us, just sitting there with fans on. There wasn't many people turned up, but we did a good display anyway. We was quite pleased with that, considering it'd only been the last couple of weeks that I've been organising the produce and that to pick it up. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing the last few days. Next one.
Well, you did your bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. This was one of my best things this year, French beans. I grew a variety of different ones because they weren't coming through. So I just kept putting the seeds that I had, I just kept putting them in. And I had a few different ones come up in different places. But I've had about 4 bags like this year. So that's been a really good one this year, probably because of the weather. The next one, and the other one that's been really good is, oh, they're out of order. Right, this is one of my happy places, which is Hyde Hall, one of the RHS places, which is in Rettendon in Essex, and I love going there. So this is just some pictures from there. I've been twice I went at the beginning of August for the summer show, and then at the end of August they had a craft show. So we've literally, me and my daughter have been to every single part of that place and visited all the different sections of it. So yeah, a lot of walking, but I love it there, absolutely love it. So this is more pictures from there. That's the restaurant at the top of the hill. So, but it's lovely, just love it there. That's their greenhouse, that's what I'm aiming for.
Cool,
but yeah, I love that greenhouse. And there's literally all the way around it is all the vegetable beds, fruit and vegetables. It's absolutely gorgeous place. So next one. That's another picture from there. They've got these separate sections along this bit. It's sort of on the outside of where the roses are, and each one is different colours. So they'll have the blues and the purples, the oranges and the yellows, and there's all different ones. And this is the brightest one out of them that I picked just to show you. But so it looks moody sky, doesn't it? Look at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely moody sky. But yeah, it's lovely there. I just love it there. And I got a really cheap membership as well this year because we got our entry fees back and they were doing a special offer. So I got my membership for £22 for the year. That was a result. So next one. Oh, it's another picture from there. It's the lake at the top. Beautiful. There's loads of ducks on it. We're sitting there for ages watching the ducks. And they're water lilies. Masses and masses of them. That's the lake down the bottom. There's, if you actually zoom in there, I don't know whether you can see them, but there is little baby ducks there.
Same.
You go right in. Yeah, you can just about see them. And there was some baby, what they called, they're black. What, Laura, what's them ducks called that are black with the white beak?
Moorhen.
Moorhens, that's it. There's baby moorhens there as well. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah. And that's one of the displays at the summer show. That was the Acer display that they'd put on. Oh, it's fantastic. Considering it's like, what, 4 days and they're putting that display on. Right, this is another place we went in July. We went down to Devon. We stayed in Devon and we went to different places. And one of them was Eden Project. So that was in the Mediterranean garden. Absolutely, it just looks like a Mediterranean. If it wasn't for the dome at the top, you'd think you were somewhere in the Mediterranean, like in Greece or Italy or somewhere. Lovely. That was in that biome as well. That was the grapevines, I think. Looks like the grapevines. Yeah, it's lovely temperature in there. But that's the domes. So I've only been there. This is only the second time I've been there, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Right up my street it is. So next one. And that was in the tropical garden. I mean, look at the colours in them leaves.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. And the tropical biome rather.
I like me variegated.
I can't remember what it was, but the colours. I just took it because the colours were stunning. Next one. Oh right. This is another thing that's done well. I've had lots of tomatoes, but they're just taking forever and a day to ripen. They're like coming one at a time. Rather than everyone saying, like on Facebook, how do I stop my tomatoes from ripening so quick? And I'm like, I've got the opposite. I've got loads and loads of tomatoes. They're just green. Not got no blight so far, touch wood.
And a banana skin on the bottom.
Banana skin.
Yeah.
I mean, I fed them with potash. Because someone said feed them with potash, and that gets them to ripen. But it's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I'm just waiting very patiently for them to ripen. Next one. That's some more tomatoes. Beautiful tomatoes. I think that one's crimson plum. Yeah, they look like crimson plum, I think. Yeah. Which is a blight resistant one. And this, my sweet corn. And my lesson that I've learned this year is that I need to get them in earlier. I put these didn't go in till about June, I think. And I ended up buying them like mini plants because I put the seeds in and they just keep getting eaten. I don't know what it is, but they were getting eaten. So I ended up buying them this year, little mini plants, and put them in. But they need to go in a lot earlier because some of them have got brown tassels on, but they're inside, they're like white kernels still. So they're formed properly, but they're just white. And yet they're not a white variety. So I don't know.
That's what I was going to ask. On there. They've got a black beard, then I'm ready. That should be right.
That's what I mean. They've got white tassels at the top. Sorry, black, brownish, dark brownish tassels. But I just looked at it and I thought, oh, they're still white. So I don't know. Maybe if I cook them, maybe they'll turn yellow. I don't know. But yeah, that's the lesson I've learned this year, which I should have learned last year as well because I had the same problem.
Did you start them off in the greenhouse then?
Well, no, I did last year. Last year I started them off in the greenhouse, put the seeds in, and then 2 weeks later I checked them and thought, why are they not coming through? And there was none there. The mice had been in and literally taken the seeds, or something had eaten the seeds while they was in the greenhouse. Because there was literally, I went through every single one and there was no seed in there. So that last year they ate them. So this year, because I was a bit late, I thought, right, I'm buying them. That's it. I'm not going through that again. Because it took forever last year, with the mice eating them. So next one, and that's my grapes. So I've got loads of grapes. I've cut the leaves off now. There's loads of them on there, and this is only its second year, but they're just not as big as yours. There's sort of gaps in them. They're sort of not full bunches, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But they're really sweet, and they're seedless. So yeah, there's the odd ones that you think you nick one and you think, oh God, that's a bit sharp.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had some of them and they're really lovely. And that's, like I say, they're seedless. Vermont, is it something Vermont or Vermont something? But yeah, it's a nice variety. I just want them a little bit fatter and more like a proper bunch of grapes.
Do you ever thin out?
I did, yes. Did exactly what you said. After you'd done that one Zoom, and you said on it, once you got one bunch of grapes starting, chop it, which is what I did. And that's what I was doing. And I was forever cutting the growth back because it kept trying to grow again from the little nodes. And it just kept growing. I just kept cutting it back. But they've just not what I would call proper bunches of grapes. So, but no, it's nice. I mean, I'm happy with what it's done for the second year. I'm just hoping that next year maybe it'll look more like a proper bunch of grapes.
Yeah.
So yeah, next one.
No, sure.
If there's any more. Oh, and this was a bit of a result. I'm really chuffed with these. These were ginger from the shop. I think one of them was what I bought. I don't remember which one's which, and one of them is where I got a bit of ginger from the shop and put it in. But this is the best I've done with ginger, so this is like a real result this year. So I can't wait to dig that up and see what's grown underneath. And I think that's my last one.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Suzanne, thank you for that.
That's all right. You're welcome.
Flourish gum. I debung that in. Love it. Jeffrey was our next inputter. What do you hear? There's one of his glasses. He's done quite a few trials. That's his carrots in his florist bucket or a bucket. I know he's been trialing with long leeks, trying to get his own strains. And he's done well with his leeks this year. In fact, most of the stuff he's had a go. He wants some for length oil, and he wants some blanch as well, for a bit of girth around them. So that was 26 to the button. That's where I'd mark where the button is, where the leaves join. Marrow's done how big it's in. Them are his pot leaves. So he's measuring the girth as well, get a bit of meat in it. Once he's got his own seed, he'll be all right. Let's just getting, he'll get there. Then he's eating leeks. Pear tree. Before I recognise the chap. Not sure. There's his seed. Either leeks or onions good seed. And he's just looking after them. Is that? I don't know. Like I've kept them open that the insects do their pollinating. So pot leeks on the right, blanch on the left. This is tunnel, obviously. But some things marked up with red, so that's got to be a trial. What are you here? So we don't know. Sorry, Jeffrey. Back to normal this week. I hope. Becoming a vegan is a huge mistake. Sorry if you're a vegan. Right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Was the best I've ever had. Corker. Paul gave me in variegated leaf. He does a lot of variegated leaves. Plus, he throws flowers. I was turning this daily, ready for our show. He's doing in the show. So this is opening up in the morning. I took these down with us. Opened up early. So I want to do a bit of staging because I ain't got much time in that. So I need him for my collection, which is 3 blooms. I couldn't get 3 the same. I didn't put any 3 in, and then there were 3 nice ones. There's me 2 prims. Maybe trying to get another one to go with him. Luckily, we got a new chap from Brum, a dahlia grower, and this was his first show he's ever entered. Luckily for us, because he put that lot in, because we lost our dahlia grower. It was Jason who bought him because he knew him from Brum. So I introduced myself to him, and I've talked him into coming back next year as well. Super. More produce we got in the show, the more money we make, and the better the display looks inside the tent. Because everything that's entered stays in. There's no reserves. We flog everything on the auction. As you can see, nobody's using the tent because there's no wind. There's no rain, so no staging outside. Even using the tables we used the year before as well. But if it did pedal down, then that little marquee would be taking a big enough. So I've got to talk out into getting the next size up. But we have a good loft setting up. Paul's missus done us some bacon, sausage babs as a good egg. This is obviously early in the morning. And out in the afternoon, Ange bought some cobs up for dinner time. Because obviously it's an all-day job. Mum running around like Blue House. Veg is going down at both sides because most of the veg are flat. The flowers which got the height, so we put in the middle trays. So people are slowly starting coming in. Yeah, that's my last one I bought in. The single bloom is beautiful. No gaps in between. Only glad it's what Julie's one before. If I got 3 the same like them, which I have now, a week later again. And 6 peas, I was chuffed with them as well. They was only done in a small raised bed. Well, that's the first year with them, so I've learned with them for next year. And it's just my fruit and my carrots are going to go in there later on. So there's my 2 baskets, which I've done earlier on. Things that I forgot to put in was my limes and my lemons. So I took them up and bunged them in as well. So the stuff is slowly filling up. Cakes and produce, jams, wines, we put in the building itself. We haven't got enough room in here at the moment. That's where we book in this side. There's some raffle prizes. So the cakes are all on this side, preserves, and then the wines. These flog well on the evening as well, because people get peckish. Auction starts at 8 o'clock. Usually finish about 11, quarter to 12. And this year they were still in there on the ale. And then my mate come, John Taunton, and he's a good lad. He bought me some goodies, cider. He does a lot of cider, and some feeds. Good to see you.
Which is your favourite cider there, Mick? The Natch or the
You'll see it in a bit. The Monty one. Monty bottle. You'll see it in a bit. So all the committee got the jumpers on, obviously, for when the judges go around. Each judge has a steward. So the judges must be down the bottom because there's his, what's it? So that's Joe going around with Derek, our flower judge. We noticed there we got the end of the marquee open and this other end. First time ever. Let a bit of air movement in. It was such a good day. We had both ends open. And the Sweet Pea class, glad I got a speaker in early on in the year on Sweet Peas to try and get our lot to exhibit them, and that worked because the collection we got in, beautiful. John, there's your apples, mate.
Yeah, beautiful.
Good job you bought them up.
Never prize.
I think I got 3 apples on one tree and 1 on another apple, 1 on another apple. So next year I'm hoping to get in this class as well, but I've got them in my collection and a class of 5. But chuffed a bit for you, John. Yeah, he's really chilly. Brilliant. There's different classes for these. There was scented, old-fashioned, normal sweet peas, whatever, and 1 single bloom, and I won with that one. Nice, straight, tall, with a Boston flower on it, obviously. There's another one. What was that one? Old-fashioned. So I'll come first with the old-fashioned as well. Because when we had the speaker on sweet peas, they give us Eagle sweet peas. I'm sure it was where you get the seeds from, and they've got it in. Because I asked them what can we put in our schedule for the classes of sweet peas. They told us, and then says this is where you can get them from. So sweet peas. Got a vase of 6 sweet peas, any variety, any type. That's for anybody, obviously. 6 old-fashioned sweet peas, 6 scented sweet peas, 1 colour, 6 scented sweet peas mixed, and then a sweet pea best single bloom. So they've got 2, 4, 5 classes to pick from, and it worked. We got loads in. Beautiful. That's what you want to see. And this is, we had I think there's 5 or 6 first time exhibitors this year, and that's what I need. That's what I want. That's what the club needs. Bit close up on my sweet pea, my single bloom. There's my old fashioned. My scented, I've got a 3rd and a 2nd with a mixed and stain. But now, brilliant turnout for them. Quite a few Gladys in. We've had a couple of talks now on Gladys, so there's more people getting into it. And you can get your call. Well, I was going to mention Wilco, but there's quite a few places doing. This is Liam. He beat me with his prim. There's my 2 prims I put in. I thought I got a chance with one of them. And he picked me come first. Good lad.
Nice to see young lads like that get involved.
It is, well, he's got no choice. He's going out with Paul's daughter. Right, this is Dave and Baz. He made from Chesterfield National Red Society judge. He's our Baz. And they did the case and the wine and the preserves. It was a caterer's day too. And Joe was going round for them. These go well on the night as well. They do well with them. Paul bought a canner in. I put a canner class in the show just to enhance it. Something different. And this first year, and I put a variegated leaf and just a clean leaf. Or this one, obviously, 2 variegated. Paul put him in, and he's variegated a bit of mine. So he won with that. Now, him, I was going to buy back on the night. But I've got his off-cut, so he'll do for next year, because somebody was bidding up against me. And the chap who was bidding, I've asked him to come on the committee next year, well, this year, at the next meeting, him and his missus. So I didn't really want to upset him, so I let him have it. But I'm a good egg. 2 more on the committee, less work for us. But I've still got the baby off it, so I'm still all right. This year also, we was knackered up in the sense that Birmingham Daily Society, or one of the big shows in Brum, had their show on the same day as ours. Because there's a couple of lads who grow the heavy veg, big, not heavy veg, big veg, which is pot leeks and blanch leeks and onions. And they show dailies as well. So they missed our show. And we only had one exhibitor who put blanch and pot leeks in because I've finished growing the big veg. So we lost their big onions. And also Nick Brake never come from down Chard. I've got to talk him to coming back next year. I know since the price of the fuel's gone up, because he uses lights, loads of lights and heat to get the heavy onion, which he won, I think it was 3 years ago, world record for the heavy onion. And he used to bring them up, because my sponsors, I have to give them an onion each. But I told my mate into bringing up enough. And the collection of 3 onions, Jimmy Checkett, he always does well. He puts a good collection with them in. Shallots are down because I don't put them in anymore. But the 2 lads from Wednesbury, they would have. So we've got the blanch leeks, intermediate leeks, and the pot leeks. And the super pot leeks, I entered that, added that class to our schedule because people was getting pot leeks and I was going over the 6-inch branch. So I says, well, if we introduce a super pot leek between 6 and 8, which it was over 8 and move the branch, you know, and then wasted growing it. And it works well because we've got an extra class, more leeks to flog. There's Amy, Joe's mate, both from Tipton. Got them on the committee, was it last year? It's all work wonders. I call them workers. You get workers or shirkers, anyway. A good display of dailies off our mate. Celery, which was this end, nobody's put celery in for a few years now. Not many people grow it. In fact, I had a bit yesterday. Got judged to show somewhere, but only because it was in my summer house. But we wouldn't need celery. Our kids would need celery. Normal taters, stump carrots, only 1 set of parsnips in again. The 2 lads were missing from Wednesbury. And then just going all the way down. Just poor bunging out the cards on. Nice snips, beautiful. Some nice carrots out and all. Colette's is it these? The small dahlias. I recognise him. I think that's what Scott did us. Pooh. Is it Pooh Dahlia? I lost them last year as well. You see they open both ends, just get a bit of air movement. Because it was autumn. As you see, there was a bit of cloud about, otherwise it was. But it's good turnout in the end. There's always a good selection of people putting sweet and chili peppers in. That was one of the beat mine. He beat mine there. So I bought him back on the night, took him on. Quite a few gladdies in. Can't see that. This was testing the jam and the wine, and they drunk it and all. Obviously that one almost popped. And they tasted everything as well. This was a members class Scotch egg. Because people buy the grub on the night of the auction so they can eat it. And I was determined to get one of them. And I got busy running around like a blue ass. I forgot to buy one of somebody. But it worked. 2 exhibitors from our gardening club entered this year for the first time. And they've got the bug because they both won. And that's what we need. Wine always goes well on the night. And I've got best exhibit wine with a Cumberland brandy. That's a good one. Just ready to drink within 9 weeks. It is superb. Anybody's in, well, I'll put the wash it on the next Zoom, the recipe.
Every one of them at the front, you had your name on, mate.
Oh,
That was a good win that was.
Rip off with these. I used to get these from Wilco. Obviously, you can't get them anymore. The wine bottles. They got to be white and clear. And to get them now, they cost over £1 a bottle. I think it's 1.50. So we had to put the prize money in. If people stop. This is I ain't putting a bloody bottle of wine in. The prize money don't cover the bottle, let alone making the wine. So we had to put the prize money in. So that's the class of fruit. So there's my basket. That one there, I've told Amy to put the basket in. So she'll learn for next year. She'll get better, i.e. putting more fruit in. Put a bit of, impress the judge. You know, open it up a bit. That looks better than that. There's another one. That's Paul with his ripe figs, which mine ain't right. But that's the same. I should feed them earlier next year as well. And look after them. And there's another display of fruit. Right, my carrots. I've been growing all
sorry,
year.
I've got a comment on them. Can you go back to that previous picture?
Yeah.
If our judges that we've had would have disqualified them ones in the baskets because the actual class says on it dish of fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
And that's a basket. So our judges would have said not a schedule for them. Because it's right though, isn't it? Because it says dish, and that's not a dish. So I suppose it depends what judges you get. But I know our ones would have done an NAS on that. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got to word that differently next year. I know what you mean. So I've still put my carrots in. I've still put them in because what the judges are looking for is CUSS, C-U-S-S. C is the first one. That's condition. The condition's all right. No damage on them. Next one is U, uniformity. I'll be down pointed on uniformity. Then size and shape. But I still put them in. That was Colligate Master Gardener. 3 blooms, single bloom, fruit, and 2 veg out of a pick of about 4. I'm trying to get our lot to enter this next year. And I'm going to introduce that and put dwarf beans in as well, which is quite an easy one to grow. But a good display. Then we open up on the night about 6:30, let the public in. And then we bring all the wine and cakes out, so everything is in the one marquee because we need that room for people to sit down. And that's just before we start the auction, so the car park's full, and that's when we kick off. Paul's going round flogging something. Is our auction here. Next morning is always a pain to get people to come and help us out as well. But we had a good turnout again. There's the troops. Got a bin on, so I grabbed him. Word on peeps. And I took our old sheets down, ripping them up, just wiping all the moisture off. Because they said, I just fold them up and throw them in there. I said, no, there's good bloody mould in rotten shit. I said, we're doing it properly, wiping off. So I know I upset one person. I couldn't give a monkeys. I'm the show manager, so this is. And he's a good lad. He don't even come to the meetings. And I asked for volunteers, if anybody was free. He uses the training sheds. When I used to run them, I used to see him down there. And he says he gives us setting up and dismantling. Good lad. So that was finishing off. So that was all clear. Well, we was there. The gaffer says, this is the last time you'll have your marquee on it. I thought, Christ, here we go. What the hell's up there? And Sky Sports, who sponsor them, I'm having that resurfaced next year. AstroTurf, or a new AstroTurf was come out. and our marquee will be on the car park. And me and our Ben had a quick off before Liam when we finished. And they got back home, put me washing out, dried that ready for next year. Once it dry, fold it up. One thing I was chuffed with this year, the sweet peas I put in with that netting, got them all over the fence. Done well with them. Done well with the canners. All them have come through. Corkers. Composting, still doing, obviously, because I need as much compost now as I can get ready for the start of the season next year. This is one photo I'm doing for my mate in Canada, in the sense that he's finishing flowering because he's going to seed. See where I've snapped that top one off there. So for me, because he's got flowers on there, to snap that off and not snap this, they're asking, can I saw through that one there? So he's still got to, anyway, I shall ask him and get hold of that. Doing that crap. Right, sunflower, there's my bird feeder. This is self-setting. So that one is finished. And there's one of the winches when I judged the show yesterday, I put sunflowers in, so I asked that. I said, should I chop that top off to get more encouragement for these flowering? Because he's got seed, he's got his babies, he's done his job, might not throw any more flowers. And it says, if you like birds, leave it. It'll be covered in blue tits when that. So that's what you're going to do. There's Russian with a mate, piglet. So fireworks zebra, I've now marked them up 28 inches high just to get the height. So people I'll give them to, they know what height they am. There's some corkers. There's my little baby. Ready to pot him on. Nice white thick roots, that's what I want. So he's good in next pot size up. Hamster muck on the bottom. Put him upright as a plant. Need some compost down. So all I'm taking is the top 2 inches of normal and then getting down again in the compost. Chip him out, get any lumps out or worms in there, throw that lot over there, and then the next lot is normal until I've done the lot. You're still going to get worms in because you've got eggs which will hatch out in a day or so. So that lot is going back in the compost. Perfect. This lot is getting mixed up with some goodies. This is spent tops, dried goat muck, fistful of worm press, stuff like that. Again, that's getting mixed with my compost. Now we got a good brew for me canner. Put my pot in, just firm him around him. Open up, start loads of worms on the bottom. They must come through for the egg from the eggs from the last side. Water outside. There's my baby. When you cut a gladdie, that's how I'm going to carry him down to the house. But he's got a couple of gaps in, which if he was showing, then that's what the judge is looking for, non-gaps. But at least the gap has got a bit of display. There's using your initiative to help the gladdie to keep it nice and straight. And that little chap, I had a close look at him, a bit out of focus because the pattern on him, but he just jobbed a fly and he was jumping in. That's just showing it water me. That's me homemade grow bag out of my own compost. Just showing him, get him a good soaking till it comes out the drainage hole to the bottom of the bag. Covers the matting. So I'm just showing that matting is wet. Don't let these dry out. You can't have water. You've got the drainage. Ashwood Nursery, they sponsor us for the heavy swimming competition. They give us a 30, 20 and a 10 voucher. But they have to have the heaviest onion. So I had to apologise this year that onion wore that big, but we're back to normal next year. Quick view from up the top window. He's done well, the Gladys Laytons. Will be that late next year. That's one, the staining on the top, but it's a nice yellow. Shalimar is a nice prim gladdy. And he's a nice one as well. Soshi, that one. Blackberry, this is a Loch Ness which is going over the patio door. That's what I cut them off for the display. There's me new shoot going over to the way. This one was lovely, John. One of the best things I'd off you. I don't know whether he's taking the P, Monty's. As you know, me and Monty don't speak, but that side he was, well, he went down, Boston. Bougainvillea at the back there. There's another canner in there, which is staying there. That's been made up Chesterfield days. Nice sunny day, so we legged it down Breen Sands. This is just past Western Supermare, this dog friendly beach. Boston day. Car parks there, cafe. We just leg it down this end down here. Just going into it before we got there, luckily it turned out Breen have their market there on a Wednesday. So we legged it around there and all. Had a quick bacon and egg butty with a cup of tea, Boston. Then we legged it down. Little tent for Highness. There's a cold mat sat on, loads of water. Of course, when I go down there, I'm nicking the seaweed. Not one bit of seaweed. What the hell's going on? Then I found out they had a high tide, and it was a high tide as well. We were sat right down here. It took the lot right near enough to the bottom of the bloody bank, as you can see there. So I collect all the seaweed out of all the crap and bung it out to dry it out. Which obviously it's going to, because the more I can get in the bag dry, the easier to get it on. But the tide was out 8 mile, which is great if you've got kids. And had a walk with Russian. Luckily, it weren't hot in the sense it weren't clear blue skies. There was a bit of hazy cloud about. But I dug down herself anyway, which is dog's natural thing, because they know it's cooler, which it is, and they just put it in on the cold mat. On the way back, I googled it. Halfway was Gloucester, going back home 2 hours to get there. So I googled junction, which come off at Gloucester, and just googled or put in dog friendly pubs, and we legged it in there for a meal on the way home. Boston meal. There's me and Ben, Pet, and Lynn's mate, Andy down the road. It was her birthday, so he dragged her out and all. This was on a told her don't get that much. Beautiful meal. And Ben saw one of the wenches told her birthday, said come out with a little cake and a couple of cans on. It was the softest tuppence, started crying. Best birthdays ever had. That's who I mentioned earlier on in the Zooms. She had a meter, so you can see how much you use on the electric and gas. And I saw when I ain't had a gas on since. So having a meter doesn't work for everyone. That's me. When I come back home, bung the seaweed out to dry. Another picture from the bottom. Here's a squirrel, me taking Russia in the morning. Rosie, I'll never catch him. I just take the pee out of her now. He's even whistling, Rosie. What's coming through now, all my gladdies? This is I mean, I've got dates when they've been planting on the labour, picking. Because of that weird summer or weird weather, it's not going to be exactly the same next year. I just want a rough idea. But any ruffled gladding like this, tightly packed, love them. That one's too open, that was a new one. I shall be doing him again. So collecting the nettles with Russian, and the comfrey and the grass cut. I just cut the grass. I've got no grass now because I've got astroturf, so I'll make that as well. Roosting after another squirrel. That's me when I got my babbies up. Nice and dry. Collect him. This will be chopped up next week. I've just chopped up a load of green and kitchen waste, mixed it with all my ingredients, composting it up. Open one carpet, there's worms in between them two, and the next lot. So that is 5 days. The worms have gone through that last input. So I've just added another dollop there. That's where it's come to. Lift the other carpet and put the other half onto that. Weight to that. Perfect. Put the carpets back. That lid is off because of the heat we got again now. It's just sitting on the top, so there's more air going in. That's a job for next week. Once I put that lot in the compost, I thought, crap, I forgot to chop these lot up. So that was my next job, chop them up. The smaller the ingredient, the quicker the breakdown process. And then mix it. The more you mix with something else. So I spent off leaf mold, dried through the goat muck went in there as well. So my carpets now, I'm lifting the first carpet, shaking all the worms onto the top of that. And then the next one, and the next one. So them worms I've just collected there, they were folded up and kept. So this lot is then added, spread out. The worms are then dropped into there, then are spread out evenly, and then watered. Put the carpets back, start again. Right, this was judging yesterday at Tanworth and Arden. This was near Solihull, bloody posh around there. Bloody houses. Boston Little Village. I judged there last year and they got me again. I was doing the veg, the flowers and the fruit. There's my two stewards. They got me the rings for measuring the flowers. Obviously, you've got to go by the schedule. Judges have to. But always a good, say it's only a quaint little village, they have a good turnout. They have two collections as well. The fruit on the bottom. Those tomatoes are superb. That's the wench. If those still here, whoever put them in. I just want to know the variety of them. Anybody recognise them? Got any idea? But they look superb, the toms. Them two at the end was doing the wine, but it weren't wine, it was liquor. And they was throwing it right down the neck. They weren't swilling it around, spitting it out. The wench was going over me, it says they go on drunk as an old. Perks of the job, I suppose. When I got home, England rugby, brilliant game. First time ever I've known that England play rugby and football on the same day. Mrs. threw a fit. What a day really, because Ben was here. Luckily, otherwise I wouldn't have allowed it on. I've got to go in the kitchen. Right, my sweet peas, which was grown in the back of here. Got 3 raised beds here with gladdies in. It'll just make the gladdies out there. I had sweet peas grown and then it didn't, which worked. Now all these are dying off and the show's finished. I'll stop picking, meaning the sweet peas are going to seed and dying off. And the hordes of, you can't really see them there. But the sparrows nicking the sweet peas, so I'm leaving them in. I'm going to take them down, so I'm leaving with the birds. And he's just coming back through again. Happy firework. That was one of my first ones from seed. And then that's what I took there today. Those 3 roses are now all identical size, shape and colour. They'd have been perfect in the show. I just took this morning from our bedroom window. See all the gladdies sticking out at the top. The fruit trees at the back. still on to him next door to pull his finger out. Is that going to work? I'm bloody clue. Hope you've enjoyed that, people. We've had a bit of a few cock-ups. That's sorted for next Zoom. Right, the next Zoom will be the right one next Sunday. Next one will be the 24th. But you'll get the link the day before. Me and the gaffer are away. Pam, nice to see you. Pity there were everybody else on and all.
This time, thanks very much, everyone.
Lovely. Hope to see you on the next one, people.
Thanks, Mick.
We'll get
Cheers,
sorted
mate.
out for them. I'll get our
Your
bed sorted
your
out.
garden looked lovely in that last picture, by the way.
Good.
Looked beautiful.
That's what it's worth. Cheers,
That one of
people.
Cheers,
Good,
then,
mate.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Mick.
See you all.
See ya.
Rolling.